One of the key differences between our democracy in Zimbabwe and the democracy of South Africa is maturity and being able to identify problems and not run away from the problems. We can praise ANC for the job that it is doing, but one thing that we can agree is they are trying, even though they are rocked with corruption and other things. But when you compare them with what is happening in Zimbabwe, what is happening in Zimbabwe is unprecedented. Now, let us look at President Cyril Ramaphosa. He promised the people of South Africa in Alexander in this video that they were going to build 1 million houses.
Kodwa ngahamba nominister wethu we-human settlements wezindlu bane-program mamelani kahle bane-program ebhekane nalo leli lonke lakithi lase-South Africa. I-program ethi sisazowakha izindlu ezilingana no-1 million. 1 million yezindlu zizowakhiwa lezo zindlu lapha e-Alexander mamelani. Lapha e-Alexander sisazobhekisisa kahle indaba yomhlaba. Sisazobhekisisa kahle indaba yomhlaba ukuthi sikwazi ukuthi masakha izindlu siyakha izindlu ngendlela efanele.
Now, he then later explained that he was not referring to Alexander. But let us listen to him and then listen to Julius Malema rebuking him for saying those words.
President, it is leadership to admit when you have made a mistake. You can't come here and say you never promised the people of Alexander 1 million houses. You said so. You said you are going to build 1 million houses for the people of Alexander. And knowing you being a legally trained person, like you said, you are not an illiterate who just speaks without knowing what he's speaking about. And being a president, before you take a stage, your back office would have given you the necessary information which is relevant to this place where you are. So it is important that today you admit that you made a mistake, because those people are dying. Some of them stayed at Stradler, and as a result, that land is not for human settlement. And when you created that impression, a lot of expectation was made. We're dealing with human beings here who've got feelings. And when a president speaks, they've got their expectation, high, because they know it's not a lesser authority speaking. Our fighter was killed, Moshe Mphatlele, in Alexander, fighting for people to occupy the containers, rightful people to occupy the containers. Because of that daily struggle of housing in Alex, now we've lost our honorary commissar during the battle for occupation of these containers. In his honor, and in the honor of the poorest, people who are sleeping with the rats, people who are staying in places where there is no proper sanitation and water, in their honor, I think it is a correct thing to say, I'm sorry, I've made a miscalculation, and I said 1 million houses instead of 40,000 houses. Because to say you have not said it, you are now becoming a professional politician who can just say this today and turn against it tomorrow, and it's business as usual. So,
Honorable
with
Malema,
little
you have
resource
to
left,
conclude.
with the little numbers that you have now, maybe this will help you to regain some confidence. Alexander, thank you.
Mushavi, let me start by extending my condolences for the passing of Mphatlele. I had wanted to call you, but I then got distracted by a whole number of things. I felt very sad when that incident happened, because Mphatlele was an important leader in your party. So my condolences. In addressing precisely the point that you are making, we took care to go back to that recording and listened to it. And had a number of people in my office listening to it and interpreting it because ke boletse ka Sepedi, ka e bolela, and to the extent, Honorable Malema, that it created this impression that I said 1 million houses for Alexander, which objectively would not be possible anyway, because we just don't have the land there to build the 1 million houses. And to the extent that it created that impression, yes, I will say I apologize for having made people believe that I meant for Alexander. What I really meant was, yes, we would want to build 1 million houses for the whole country. And as it turned out, of course, we never really reached even that target because of a whole number of issues. We succeeded in building, during the MTSF, we succeeded in building 240,000 houses, which is way below what we had wanted. And there are many reasons around the country why we have not been able to reach our targets. And these are things that we do need to correct, because in some cases there's been underspending. Money has been laid out, and the entities that are supposed to build those houses often do not do so, and the money is returned.
Now I've made this analysis looking at the promises that were made in Zimbabwe. We have been promised free education until free education never came. It has not been explained why free education is coming and how it was going to happen. It is important that as a country that has got over 63 minerals, let us have at least free education. One country that has got one natural resource, or maybe you can say two, which is oil. Gas, it is also part of oil, has managed to provide free education for its citizens. Go to Saudi Arabia, it's the same thing. All the countries that are in the Gulf that has got oil, they're providing free education for their citizens. Why can't we do the same when we've got 63 natural resources in Africa? Why? But tell me what you think about the statement by President Cyril Ramaphosa. I'll see you on the next one.